The Cold War lasted from 1947 to 1991 and defined the second half of the 20th century. It was a global confrontation between the United States and the Soviet Union, two superpowers with opposing political and economic systems, yet it never escalated into direct warfare between them. Instead, both sides competed through espionage, propaganda, proxy conflicts, and technological races. Over the decades, many operations, decisions, and near catastrophes were kept classified by both Washington and Moscow. Some of these documents have only been declassified in the last 25 years. Today, we will examine several of the most significant episodes that governments once preferred to keep out of public view. The story of the Cold War begins immediately after the Second World War. In 1945, the United States, the Soviet Union, and Britain had been allies against Nazi Germany, but that alliance quickly fractured. By March 1946, Winston Churchill spoke in Fulton, Missouri, of an Iron Curtain descending across Europe. Eastern European countries were falling under Soviet influence, and the continent was divided into two armed camps. One of the earliest classified programs was born in this atmosphere of suspicion. In 1948, the United States and Britain began a highly secret intelligence operation, codenamed Venona. American cryptanalysts had intercepted and were slowly decrypting thousands of Soviet diplomatic cables sent during the war. These messages revealed that Moscow had placed hundreds of agents inside the US government, including at the Manhattan Project, which had built the atomic bomb. Names such as Klaus Fuchs, Theodore Hall, and members of the Rosenberg Ring appeared in the decrypts. The existence of the Venona project itself remained secret until 1995, partly because the US government did not want the Soviets to know their codes had been broken. Across the Atlantic, the Soviet Union was conducting its own clandestine efforts. In 1949, the USSR successfully the submarine USS Scorpion with 99 men aboard. The Soviets lost the K-129 the same year. The CIA later attempted to raise the sunken Soviet submarine in a daring operation called Project Azorian. Using a specially built ship, the Hughes Glomar Explorer, the agency managed to recover a portion of the wreck in 1974. The operation remained secret until 2010. In the 1980s, a new source of tension emerged from a misunderstanding of the other side.
The scenario was realistic, but Samson was breaking Soviet nuclear forces that place important,
a fact that remained classified into the late 1990s. President Ronald Reagan wrote in his diary that he was surprised to learn how close the world had come to nuclear war because of a misperception. The Cold War finally began to wind down after Mikhail Gorbachev became Soviet leader in 1985. Gorbachev's policies of glasnost, openness, and perestroika, restructuring, loosened internal controls and allowed greater contact with the West. In 1987, he and Reagan signed the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, the first agreement to actually eliminate an entire class of nuclear weapons. 2 years later, in November 1989, the Berlin Wall fell, and within months, East and West Germany were reunited. The Soviet Union itself dissolved in December 1991. The Cold War never became a direct hot war between the superpowers, yet it shaped the modern world in profound ways. It accelerated technological development in computing, space exploration, and material science. It left behind a global network of military bases and alliances that still exist today. It caused millions of deaths in proxy conflicts from Korea to Angola, and it brought humanity closer to nuclear annihilation on several occasions than most people realized at the time. The documents that have been released since 1991 show that leaders on both sides often acted with incomplete information and under enormous pressure. They also reveal that individual decisions, sometimes by a single officer or diplomat, prevented catastrophe. Understanding these episodes does not diminish the ideological differences that drove the conflict, but it does remind us how fragile stability can be when two heavily armed powers confront each other for decades. The Cold War is now history, yet many of its weapons, treaties, and institutions remain. Studying its once secret chapters helps us see more clearly both the dangers that were narrowly avoided and the responsibilities that come with great power in an interconnected world.